Hi YouTube, and hi to my children who will be extremely excited about this. I am going to pick something to make from the jar. The jar is a bit of a parent hack of mine. As a parent who does craft for her children, they go and make loads and loads of requests. So I've started telling them to write them or design them, fold them up and put them in the jar. I've also put a few ideas in the jar myself, whether they be for mini series that I'd like to do or ideas I'd like to do. And my husband has also been putting things in the jar as well. I should have hidden it better. So let's go. Let's see what's in the jar. Right. So, if you saw this short, you know that I've got some ideas that I definitely want to do for this year, for 2026. And this is one of my ideas. I get to make Badgey from Star Trek Lower Decks. Yes! My kids are going to be furious. This is an idea for me. Yay! So I've decided to do a full prototype of this one in this quite thin double knit yarn and a 3mm hook. To be honest, actually, this yarn actually might be 4-ply yarn. I'm not entirely sure. But then when I've got this completely secured with how I want it, I'm going to move on to a plush yarn that I've never tried before. Now, in previous experiences with plush yarns, they don't unpick very well. So that's why I've decided to do this in just a pure acrylic for now. So I'm working on the round and I've chosen to increase by 4. That is when I'm doing an increase. And I'm actually using a sketch as a guide. So I'm sort of sizing it to the sketch. Now, working directly over a sketch is a technique that works really well for me when I'm doing a tapestry piece or a flat piece. But I have noticed when doing origami, this technique tends to bring out the piece a bit thin. So I'm just trying to create a bow in my work and trying to line up the edges. So I'm hoping this technique will work better for me when it comes to origami projects. Okay, I'm at the bottom of the badge where it divides off into 2 prongs. Originally, I did consider making both of the prongs at the same time and just slip stitching around the middle, but I felt it would end up distorting the shape because it is really the shape of this which is the main focus of it. If I can't get this shape of the Star Trek emblem correct, it doesn't matter about any other elements. It's simply not going to work. All right, so I'm about at row 37 here, using back loop only stitches. I just felt they'd be better to give me the curve at the bottom of the badge shape. I think I just need 1 more row with back loop onlys. Yep, I was right. And I'm going to use the next row to actually close the middle stitches at the base, and then I'll start working on just one of the pointy bits. And I'll have to break my yarn and add it onto the other side to finish the second one. Okay, moment of truth. Got so far. Got this far. I'm going to remove the stitch markers and I'm going to stuff. And let's see if my shaping has worked. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I'm happy with this. Right. Next bit, the smaller pointy bit. And then I'll need to move on to its limbs. So I designed a while back for my Cuphead doll some little gloves and boots, and I think they're going to work pretty well for Badgey. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to remake them in the same size yarn and crochet hook, and I'm going to see how it goes. Okay, the hands look great, but the boots, not so much. I'm going to have to redesign them. So now I'm happy with the shape of all of the pieces. I did the limbs off camera. It's time to move on to my final yarn. Now, like a lot of origami designers, I'm not a fan of using plush yarns or velvety yarns. So I've never actually used this Squeeze Me line from Stylecraft. This colour is Gold Yellow 5618, and I've been told that it's a lot easier to work with than conventional plush / velvet yarns. I am going to be doubling this yarn up, so it should be at Aran weight now. The original ball was at double knit weight. So normally with an origami project and an Aran weight yarn, I use a 4.5mm hook. So I'm going to give that a go. No, it doesn't work right. I'm going to go up to a 5mm hook. So let's get redoing Badgey in a bigger size. I'm thinking it's going to be roughly twice the size of the original, which has come out at 9.5 inches, or if you're British like me, or Canadian, or Australian, 24 centimetres. That's from the tippity top right the way down to the bottom of the boots. When I was putting together the prototype, I did notice that the mouth didn't look right, and I was going to go back and fully redesign it. So that's why I don't actually have recorded footage here. But honestly, I think it's just that I didn't sew it down correctly. So I'm going to leave it as is, and you'll see a bit of the making of the mouth in the large size coming up. But it's basically one chain row with double crochets, decreases and increases worked around to actually create the curve. The trickiest thing was actually the colour changes, because with working around the chain, I actually had to have the chain start in white and finish in black, and then be able to work around that. That did actually prove to be trickier than I thought it would be. The eyes were just one row of 8 double crochet, that's UK terms, into a magic ring, and I've put a safety eye in the middle. For the smaller Badgey, this meant using the smallest toy eyes I have, which are 4, maybe even 3 millimeters diameter. Alright, so I'm at round 31 and I've used an entire row of the Squeeze Me yarn, and I have to admit I am pleasantly surprised with it. It's working up quite nicely. I'm not having to fight it. I usually have problems with the velvet yarns slipping off the hook. A lot of the plush yarns tend to fray. I'm not having any of these problems. I've been able to actually use this yarn to create the magic circle. I've not had to use a separate yarn to start off with and then move on to the plush like a lot of the times you actually have to. And it I have actually had to frog back a row or two just through miscounting, and it has frogged back all right. Not perfect, but it's all right. It's all right for a casual mistake. I don't think it's something you should go forward and actually plan a pattern in though. I will double or triple my yarn as need be for the brown and the cream to do the hands and boots and limbs again. Again, I'm not going to show the limbs just because they're just tubes. Oh, I love my Badgey so much. May you be the first of many Star Trek makes to come. Okay, final size ended up being 16.5 inches or 42 centimeters. So, yeah, just shy of double. But that's probably my tension. I do find that when I use thicker yarns, I do actually increase my tension. So, will I be using the Stylecraft Squeeze Me yarn again? You know, I think I will. It's soft, it feels really durable, and my husband even suggested that it could be great for something like socks. And I've never made socks before, although it has now given me some ideas going forward. So, yeah. I think I will be using the Squeeze Me yarn again. And Badgey here is going to be the first of many Star Trek projects to come, because I'm a massive Trekkie and I'm going to embrace it. But I'll have to see if another Star Trek project is what I pull from the jar. Alright guys, I'll see you again. Bye.